Hey there, cool cats and kittens. This is Mr. Cunningham, reporting in, and we're going to go over a couple things. For this video, you should have watched the song video about classifying triangles. It's a song video, so we're going to put triangles here together a little bit, and kind of also review triangle inequality theorem and what makes a triangle based off the sides of it. Um, so um, Mirror triangles are classified by their sides. Scalene means no sides are the same size, same length. Equilateral triangles means all the sides are exactly the same size, and also all their angles are exactly the same size. Also, and then then you have an isosceles triangle, which has two or more sides are congruent. Um, then you have by angles. Angles you have obtuse. You only have one obtuse angle for a triangle. You also have a acute triangles, which has all angles are less than 90 degrees, and they equal 180. And then you have um, equilateral. Acute, obtuse, and then you have a right triangle. A right triangle mirror. Right means 90 degrees in geometry. So the 90 degrees means only has one 90 degree, and then the rest are less than 90. So you can only have one right angle, and you can only have one obtuse angle in a triangle. So that means two of the angles need to be acute. No matter what we do, there should be two angles that are always acute. There can be three angles that are all acute because the equilateral triangle has 60 degrees all the way around. Um, and so remember, all the angles inside of a triangle have to equal 180 degrees, no matter what. And so just to review that, so let's say we have a right triangle, and we're going to say this is a isosceles because we have two sides are exactly the same size, and we have a right triangle. Remember that box means it is a 90-degree angle, and so we're looking at that, and this is 45 degrees. Well, we know it's 180 degrees equals 45 plus 90 plus x. We can just subtract these from the 180, and we end up getting, hey, 45 degrees equals x. So this is also 45 degrees. And so remember, we can take those angle measures that we already know, and we can subtract those from 180 degrees to get those. The main thing uh, trying to get to this review here and hit again is just to clear up any confusion maybe from the video that um, I gave you guys on Monday because I didn't do it. It was a good video, and I'm going to be doing another video from somebody else again, but I want to make sure I made one this week. That way, you can see me and stuff like that, and keep that. We will be doing a class meeting on Friday at 11 a.m. This past week on Thursday, I wasn't able to. I didn't have power from the 11, about 10:30 p.m. the night before that really big storm came through. Remember that? And I didn't have power till very late the next night, and so I really wasn't able to do that, and I apologize for that. So, but if you need any questions or have any things to ask me, email me. I'll respond to you as soon as I possibly can. Some of you guys are turning late work, which is great. Okay, remember, just try to get that stuff in, turn that material in. Uh, you'll learn as much as you are putting forth the effort to learn. And I'm here obviously for questions that you have. Um, Now, I just want to make sure we understand the triangle inequality theorem, and you guys will do a quizzes on kind of nothing but triangles on Tuesday. So your quizzes on Tuesday will just be triangle stuff, just kind of conglomerate of that stuff. Um, so keep that in mind. But the triangle inequality theorem states that the sum of the two smaller sides must be greater than the longest side. So if it does not meet that criteria, the two small sides, the sum of them, so adding the two smaller sides of a triangle, if they are not bigger than the third largest side, you can't make a triangle out of it. Okay, there's no way for you to make a triangle unless the two smaller sides are added together are larger than their largest side. So a 3, 4, 5 is a common triangle you guys are going to eventually see a lot of, especially in high school geometry. A 3, 4, 5, a 3, 4, 5. So we know 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 is bigger than 5 or greater than 5. So 7 is greater than 5. So we know this makes a triangle. There's no doubt about it that a 3, 4, 5 triangle makes a triangle. It's also a unique triangle, which you're going to learn about on Wednesday. You're going to have an ed puzzle on that. But um, so a 3, 4, 5 makes a triangle. Um, However, a 3, 4, 7 does not, because what happens here, if you have a 3 inches, let's say this is 3 inches, and let's say we have a 4 inch. Let's say we have a 7 inch. Make that a little bit longer, 7 inches. And we have a 4 inch. Let's say we have a 4 inch. We're going to try to put here on here. What's going to end up happening with this is if you have a 3 and a 4, you try to make a triangle of it, it is not going to meet. There's just no way. And if you try to bring them closer and closer together, what they're going to do is stack on top. And so you're going to have just basically a line on top of a line, stack on top of a stack, and it's not going to make a triangle. It's just going to be a stack of lines here. So that will make a triangle as whatsoever. So it must be greater than. Another thing that came up in your quizzes questions was the range. And we didn't do very well on that. And I just want to kind of talk about that. The range that the third side could possibly be. So one thing is to keep in mind is that third side, they give you two numbers, and they've done this many times in the state test. So this is something that has definitely come up a lot. If they give you two sides, you have to kind of give them a range of possibilities the third side could be. So if we go back to that 3, 4, 5, let's say we put a 3 and we put a 5 in here. So we know that the two side lengths of the triangle is a 3 and a 5. Well, that means our third side. Now, our third side could be the longer side. We don't know. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up subtracting these two numbers and adding them together. And then our numbers should be between those two. So if we have 5 minus 3, so we're going to subtract that. That gives us 2. And then 5 plus 3 is 8. So what must be true here is our range has to be between these two. So it has to be bigger. This x has to be greater than this 2. And this x has to be smaller than this 8. And the reason why that is, if I plug 2 in here and I say this is a 3, 5, 2. Well, if I take my two smaller sides, 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 equals 5. 5 is not greater than 5. Therefore, this cannot be a triangle. Then we have, let's say we plug in 8. Well, if we do 8, well, if we take the two smaller sides now, the 5 is now the smaller side, one of the smaller sides. And so 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 is not bigger than 8. Therefore, that cannot work. But however, we can do anything with any of these. 3, we plug in 3 here. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 is bigger than 5. We plug in 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, it's bigger than 5. We plug in 5. Well, if we have two 5s, we just take one of the 5s. And so 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 is bigger than 5. So we're good there. We plug in 7. All right, or 6. 6 plus, so 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 is bigger than 6. And then we plug in 7. 5 plus 3 is 8. That's bigger than 7. So this range has to be between these two numbers. So that's what it's asking here for that as far as that range. And that was the last question on the quizzes. And so I had that data of how well you did on that, and we struggled in that. So don't be surprised to see something like that coming up. So let's say we have another triangle, and let's say they give you. And I really don't like on Khan. I think they give a question like this. I really don't like it because it's asking for range, and they show you like a hypotenuse, the longer side of the triangle. They actually show you a drawing. Well, you can't really give it a range because if it's a drawing. So what they like to do on a Khan question, I really don't like the question, But let's say this is 8 and this is 6, and they ask for the range. Well, this side is obviously longer, and so students say, oh, well, it has to be bigger than 8. There has to be numbers that are bigger than 8. That's actually not what they want. They just want the range. So they're really just giving you two numbers and expecting you to find that range of numbers that the third side could be. So if we just subtract these two numbers and we add those two numbers, that range, it should be between those two numbers for the third side. So we subtract those, we get 2. We add those, we get 14. And so our x value must be bigger than that 2. That's why I remember the alligators being the larger side. So 2 is less than x, or if you read it backwards, x is greater than 2. Remember, the easier way to remember this is that this makes an L. So L's make it less than. So x is less than 14. So 2 is less than x, our third side, and x is less than 14. So any of those possibilities between there is an answer to that problem. So our third side is that possibility. Any of those possibilities will do. Okay. So make sure you watch the song video on classifying triangles. Just kind of review that. We're gonna hit it. Review that. Then Wednesday we're doing unique triangles. Now, what unique triangles are, when you get into it, unique triangles means if I give you this set of information, if I give you a certain degree angles or certain sides, you can only make a triangle just like that. Okay. So if I give you certain information, you can only make this exactly the same way. So think about it this way. If I gave you a recipe for a cake and I gave you the exact instructions, everything to a T, how you're even supposed to spread the icing on there, you should only be able to make that cake exactly the same as I do. Now, we all know that's not how, if you ever watched the show Nailed It, it's not exactly how to do it. However, they don't give them exact instructions. But um, same thing right there as far as if I give you the exact instructions for a triangle, the exact, it should come out exactly the same every time in certain situations. It depends on the information they give you. All right. For example, um, and this is kind of getting ahead to what you're going to look on Wednesday. But if I give you 3 angles, okay, 3 angles is not a unique triangle. And I'm going to give you a very simple one. If I give you angle, 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 so I give you 3 angles, and I give you an equilateral triangle. And the only thing we know is that each one of these is 60 degrees. Well, you can make a home an equilateral triangle with 60-degree angles. However, yours won't be exactly the same size as mine. Okay, it won't be the exact same copy because I can make another one as big as that, 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. That doesn't work. So it's not unique. So, and you're going to watch that video about what is unique and what isn't unique. Okay. What information, if I gave someone certain information about a triangle, then that would be information that would give me the exact same thing. And so while that may not apply to maybe, well, I'm never going to make a triangle in the real world, Mr. Cunningham, but you maybe have to give information to somebody, certain information. And you can give them information that is true, but will it give them exactly what they need to do? And so that's important. Okay. You can watch, there's this funny video of a dad having his son tell him how to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich. And he does exactly what the son tells him to do. And it's all true. It's all true information, but it's not the information exactly the way he needs to make the peanut butter sandwich and jelly sandwich. So that information is going to come in on Wednesday about what makes a unique triangle. That means if I give you that information, if I give you that certain information about a triangle, you'll make the exact same triangle as I do. Now, normally in class, we would make these with compasses and protractors. So usually we make those with compasses and protractors, but I don't think that would be a real good idea for you guys to do at home because most of the people don't have compasses or protractors, and I only have a classroom set, and so unfortunately we're not going to be able to do that. But today, recapping, 180 degrees inside of a triangle. Okay, the types of triangles by classifying them by shape, by angles, and by sides, and then triangle inequality theorem. Two small sides must be larger when added together than the third side. Um, and then on Wednesday, you're getting the unique triangles. All right. Take care. Be safe. Talk to you guys later. Bye.